I'm not giving up on implausible dreams, experience to extremes. But one thing I will say, as I've gotten a bit older, kids, it's okay to give up on some implausible dreams. You can't not give up on all of them, because that's not going to work out great.
Like home ownership for millennials and Gen Z? And,
yeah. Yeah, like owning a home or retiring ever.
Welcome to another episode of Your Music is Bad, and You Should Feel Bad, with Matt and Blake. He's Matt, I'm Blake. Today we're talking about something very near and dear to my heart, Rush, and specifically Grace Under Pressure, and why it's relevant right now or not, or maybe that's just my scary feelings about the world in general and I'm projecting them. Matt, am I projecting them?
No, you are not. You're not projecting them. I too feel that this one is strangely relevant. Well, maybe not strangely, but it's unfortunately relevant, more relevant than it would be nice. So this is part 10 in our Rush retrospective, which we are starting now. And we're going to do them out of order but label them chronologically. So if you want to listen to them all in order, which will be out of order, you can do that, because that's just the kind of podcast this is. We do stuff weird for no good reason. And so Grace Under Pressure, we're partially listening to this one because you already said you were listening to it a bunch, and it's one you like a lot.
Yes, that is absolutely true. I have probably listened to this album, at least twice a week for as long as I can remember. You would think I fully have it by heart, but apparently I don't do that anymore. But it is a phenomenal album, and every time I listen to it, I find more things to enjoy about it, whether it is paying more attention to sort of the reggae influence of it, or just the darkness of it, or whether we're talking about robots or versus the video where it's like some guy with long hair running away from a factory. That's not that relevant. But there's so much here. It's such a good album. And in my experience, you don't hear about it. And I don't quite understand why that is. That's why I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So that there is something out there.
Definitely. It's one of those albums that people who know it love it. Like, it's actually considered really good generally, but it's not one of the most common Rush favorites. It's kind of at a weird point. It's the first official album in their like 80s, more like sparkly guitars, more synths.
I might disagree with that point.
Well,
I think Signals is that.
Okay. The Signals is the last in the previous run, which included Permanent Waves and Moving Pictures. Yes, it has a lot of synths, but like, look, it's one of those things where like, it's a gradient. It's a gradual progression of change, and you can argue about where you draw the line. But
I think that's really fair. I think we can draw a clearer line. This is the first album that is not Terry Brown produced.
Exactly, and that's part of why it's the first of that era. Also, like what we'll get to in this as we cover their 19 studio album is that I think each of their eras is broken up into like four or five. I think it's 4 albums at a time. And Geddy even mentioned this in his autobiography. He kind of said how like what I already had sort of observed and most people had is he's like, yeah, we do these little like periods, a few albums, and then we kind of get to the end of that thing, and then we go on to something a little different. Like there was sort of the early like prog concept era, Caress of Steel, 2112, and then there's like the like Moving Pictures, Permanent Wave, Signals. That's sort of like, it's still very progressive. It's a little more commercial maybe, but not like really intentionally. It's just sort of like there's some, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I think that's arguably their best era. But then there's the 80s synths and like sparkly guitars, and which eventually like got too sparkly and too many synths. And what's interesting in a way to sort of skip to this, the 2026 remaster version of this that I was listening to also had a whole bonus remix. The remaster was a good remaster because it didn't really sound different to me. It sounded like the album I'm familiar with. But the Terry Brown remix, this was the first album after a long stretch that wasn't produced by Terry Brown. And that kind of explains the shift. And the Terry Brown remix kind of confirms that because it's way more guitar heavy and the synths are pulled way back. The drums are kind of more prominent. But then after, like, and it was interesting to listen to once, and then I never wanted to listen to it again because I'm like, it sounds wrong. Because basically, when you remix an album like that, it doesn't matter how good it sounds wrong. Like when Pain of Salvation redid all the guitars on The Perfect Element because they had been recorded as like dry stems going into like a pod. It's like, oh, now we can reamp them with real amps, and the guitar tones sounded great. But after listening to it once, I was like, I never want to hear that again. It sounded wrong. It doesn't sound like The Perfect Element. What are you doing? And so this is like the same idea. It was interesting to listen to once, but then I was like, all right, enough of that crap. Back to the regular.
I have not listened to that. I will have to. I guess I didn't have my hands on it. I cannot imagine this album being less synthy. I think it needs to be synthy because of the themes and the content of it. There's robots and the 80s, and it's dark and things are bad. And that's what synth is for.
Exactly. Actually, I'm looking at the discography. You might be right about Signals being the first of that era. If I'm insisting on this like 4 album, although, okay, it kind of gets off. That would have maybe, I don't know.
Well, Signals was 82. This was 84. Signals was awfully synthy.
Yes.
And this might have even been less synthy than Signals.
I don't know about that, but I think the guitars are more sparkly, and that's another part of that sound that kind of culminates in Hold Your Fire. And after Hold Your Fire, Al was like, enough, I want the guitars back. Like he was pissed. He was sick of that, and he was like, why? For a while, it was a cool thing for him to explore, but then after a while, he's just like, and then that's, then you got to start rocking again. But
I thought maybe he was just upset about the Amy Mann collaboration. I mean,
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That was really poppy, but also really good.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get there.
All right. So
that's not this episode.
All right. Grace Under Pressure. Oh, the other interesting thing about Grace Under Pressure is it's a crap. What did I don't know if I named this yet. It's a sacrifice album. It's a struggle album. It was hard to record, and they were miserable doing it, and they never want to speak of it again. And apparently the band almost broke up, but then they didn't. And then the album's great and people love it, but it was a nightmare to record or something.
Well, as far as I understand and reading a little bit about it, I guess it got written pretty fast and it took a long time to record. And given that we have phenomenal musicians here, I did not quite figure out why it took so long to record. I'm sure there's a reason. I saw one reason was they had a hard time finding out who they actually wanted to produce it. There was a guy that they eventually brought in, but I think on the wiki it referred to it as like kind of self-produced. And I wonder if that had a big effect on this. If they were trying to produce it themselves, that would after having the same guy for 9 albums.
That would make a lot of sense because, like, yeah, especially if you went from somebody producing, which largely involves deciding, like, okay, now we're going to record guitars. Al, record guitars. And all of a sudden, it's just up to the 3 of them. I could see that making it difficult and almost breaking the band up. That I think checks out. And for some bands, it sort of works. Like Dream Theater started self-producing, but then at the same time, it also made everything sound the same forever and is boring, and they should get someone else to produce it because it's fucking stupid. So yes. The first track on Grace Under Pressure is Distant Early Warning, which I think that I've heard on the radio, but like, I don't know if I'd say it's a big radio song.
And it's got a big, well-produced video, and it has jumping right into the themes of Cold War and nuclear weapons, and everyone is scared about their neighbors, and Canada has every right to be like scared about the US.
Yeah.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
This is one of the most topical. We are a credible threat.
So much of this album hits different in ways that I wish it did not. Yeah. The topic aside, interesting thing about Distant Early Warning, it is a song that they always said they liked to play live. Not that people were asking for it, but they played it because it was fun for them to play live because it has a lot of different like fills and stuff. And so it's just fun to play. And so I think I saw them play it a few times. They would just put it in the set list because they were like, yeah, let's play it. It's fun. And
I would like to be on the record as asking for it if I can ever get out to see Rush and be able to afford it. Because again, the US is a fuck show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy that it's so much more than the last Rush tour with Neil was, which I went to because it was it seemed expensive at the time, but now by comparison, it's nothing. Yeah, I'm just not paying those prices. It would be, if I would totally would, if it was even like in the ballpark of $100, but it's been like $3 or something every time I don't know. I'm not even.
Well, and it's also all the robo scalpers. We're sending all the money to the poor robots who want to escape and route it into the desert.
And it's all just built into the Ticketmaster now. It's all just a, vertically synergized monopoly, which we almost broke up. And then somebody made a deal.
We can't have nice things, especially if people don't make more and more money.
So I don't know if there's a way to redo that with another president. We might just be fucked forever now because somebody was
Probably.
like, we can make a deal with Live Nation and Ticketmaster while they have a monopoly on all of the music performance ever.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad for everybody. Like, it's not.
It sure is.
Like, major popular artists who suck but are popular are canceling tours because all the tickets are being bought by bots and resold for prices no one can afford. And it's like, why? It's got to even like hurt them eventually. If people just stop buying tickets, what do I think to some degree people always manage to buy, but like maybe it's the thing. Maybe the ridiculous rise in price has offset the drop in purchases for now, but at a certain point, it's just going to be like, okay, music's over. We're done.
We're all just circling the drain forever
Yeah.
until we hit the train. So, but yes, and that's another one of these things that is relevant to this album. We're talking about distant early warning and nuclear threat of stuff, and then probably this fits in there too. I didn't look at the lyrics real specifically, but it's all these things. It's this constant feeling of dread about stuff you can't control, and it's scary, and it's distant, and it's early, but it's a warning. It's just, so how the hell does that all work? I don't freaking know.
It's got great. I mean, granted, like I don't know, I like almost all of Neil's lyrics, but it has some really good ones. Like the ill wind comes arising across the city of the plains. There's no swimming in the heavy water, no singing in the acid rain. Like it's great.
Those are
great
phenomenal.
rhymes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is great because it's just like, I'll listen to a Rush album. Okay. Like, even if I haven't been listening to it, I hadn't planned on listening to it, all of a sudden just to put it on, I was like, this is great. Fucking fuck yeah. As long as it's not the self-titled, or maybe Snakes and Arrows is maybe like my second least favorite, but it's okay. Like, whatever.
That's fair. Something about this, and I don't even know that this is like specifically in the lyrics, but when I hear it's so hard to stay together passing through revolving doors. We need someone to talk to and someone to sweep the floors. Something about this feels to me like it's talking about empty buildings where there's like one person walking around and just the janitor. And that makes me think of like these AI data centers where there's one or two humans and there's no one else to talk to, and it's all this machines. And maybe this is just in my head, but that's kind of the thematics I get out of it. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And like, even if that's just sort of, again, a new modern interpretation, like it really is like great lyrically, but also subtle and kind of ambiguous. And like, you can really hear it a lot of different ways, but not in a stupid way. Because sometimes there's songs people are like, you can interpret it a lot of different ways. And I'm like, but why would you? Because it's stupid. But also discussing Rush lyrics is just like the most like, hello, I am nerd. I'm going to like, it is not like, it might be like, I'm starting to understand how like people without any of the tism might hear it and be like, what is this garbage? What the hell is he talking about?
Look, get some tism.
Going through revolving doors and fucking
everyone's a little bit tistic. That's not how that song goes. But you get the idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So man, Distant Early Warning, great song.
So good. You just listen to that on loop.
You sometimes drive me crazy, but I worry about that does sound like, Canadians looking over at the US and going like, what's going on, guys? I'm like, oh man, why is that so relevant again? Help. Can you guys help us somehow? I know that's usually
Sorry, neighbors. What's it all about down there?
Yeah.
That's terrible. I apologize.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
Canada.
It's okay.
But okay, we've kind of talked that one to death.
So,
I don't know as much about After Image because I guess there was a guy who died.
Yes.
And I don't know who that guy is.
I don't know who he was, but it was a friend of Neil's, and that's really all you need to understand it. It's just about him thinking about his friend and kind of the way he mourned him. And as I was listening to it now, I was kind of like, it kind of felt like it was recontextualized to be about Neil in a way, in a way that so we can all sort of parasocially think about him in a way that he would have appreciated, because, like he always said, I can pretend a stranger is a long-awaited friend.
Wow. It's like he always said. It's not, that's.
If you're not familiar with Rush, because as I said, you may not be on the spectrum, you should know that Neil did not, which is, again, also, I think, like the major sign that Neil was on the spectrum, which is also why lyrics are so great on the spectrum, is that...
Well, and he was a drummer.
Well, yeah, but like, he was always just like, I don't want to meet fans because, like, I don't know these people, like, I thank you for liking the music, but I don't want to hang out now. And people was like, Neil's it's like, no, I understand that. That makes perfect sense to me. And I will respect it, okay, I hope never to meet Neil Peart because he wouldn't like that. Like, that's the right attitude. Except for now when I listen to this song and he's passing me like, yes, I feel the way you would, Neil. I feel, this is so funny to be like, Neil would appreciate us acting like we were friends with him.
Also, can you picture Neil Peart talking and drinking into the misty dawn? He doesn't seem like an all-nighter kind of guy.
Well, but like, he would just like, he wouldn't get like trashed probably. He would like, just keep the same buzz going and be more about the talking.
I mean, maybe if we go back into the cocaine era, we can balance out the talking and drinking.
They'd be drinking like wine or something, It's not like they'd be putting back whiskeys or something. But yeah, there was the cocaine era. But I don't think Neil was ever, he might not have been on the coke train. I think that was mostly a Getty and Alex thing.
The train to Bangkok?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just saying. We're going to make a lot of references to other Rush
albums that,
if you didn't know, that if you don't understand,
clearly explained in the earlier episodes in this series, that we are not starting on part 10. That doesn't make any sense.
Look, it's cool to start with later episodes. Everyone does it. That's how this goes. I don't know if you've never heard of Star Wars.
Including Rush, because the Fear trilogy was done backwards, and one of its parts is on this album.
Yes, absolutely, it is.
But I won't skip ahead. I don't want.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Right. Okay, so soon. After Image, very sad song about remembering a friend you lost, and it's a lovely song.
It is a wonderful song. And then we talk about concentration camps.
Red Sector A, yes. So when I first got into Rush, and I was reading about this, it was one of these things where, like, it's so clearly about the Holocaust, but then Neil's also like, but it meant it to kind of be about any similar sort of like genocidal, tragedy. And I tried to tell my mom that, and she was like, there's only one Holocaust, because we're Jewish, and it's like, there's the Holocaust, and there's all the other crap. Like, people genocide each other, well, I don't know, who gives a shit, but the whole, I'm like, I understand. But like,
if I can laugh
and also
about that.
some of it very clearly, you would be like, if you didn't say anything, you'd be like, it's the Holocaust, right? And then, like, because very specific details about, like, I mean, granted, again, that I'm sure could occur in other. There's been a lot of, let's just face it, there's been a lot of horrible atrocities throughout history.
Absolutely.
And there's enough to go around.
We're guilty of many of them.
Yeah, exactly. So, but man, it's a great song, both musically and obviously lyrically. Really cool. This one actually like heavy for this album, guitars with the synths. It gets a good, interplay.
And if you want to take this into the modern era again, because we're doing that a lot, this feels a lot like kids in cages and families being torn apart by ice.
Yeah, because we have concentration camps.
Because we're fucking evil right now.
Yeah. Great.
In general, but also right now.
Yeah.
We're anti-American right now. Sorry.
It's it's not my fault that they made this album overly relevant again. They should not have. It would have been better to, I don't know which one should be more relevant.
Yes, but unfortunately it is extremely relevant. For sure, listen to it and also listen to us. But anyway, Red Sector 8, I don't know that we can say much more about it. It's a good song, and it's depressing, and it sucks that it's so topical.
Yes, After Image and Red Sector A, very depressing lyrics, but very good in the way they're able to, manipulate your emotions.
Yes, absolutely. And then we're talking about Robots. No, that's the next track. I skipped the Enemy Within. God damn it, which I should not do. Part one of Fear.
Part one of Fear, which is actually, I believe, the third. Like, they started with part 3, and then part 2, and then part 1. Part 3 was Witch Hunt. Part 2 was Weapon. Yeah, the weapon, because Fear is the weapon to be used against them.
That's also a fantastic song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the Fear trilogy is fantastic. Actually, crap. Now, I was going to say that this one is my favorite in it, but then I thought about the weapon for a second. I'm like, wait, I'm not sure, because the weapon's really good too.
It's close,
but I really do like The Enemy Within, and again, just fantastic lyrics, and like it's also one of those things where like Neil writes great lyrics, and then Geddy finds really interesting ways to phrase them, like the pop 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 pounding in your temples and a surge of like that whole thing. Like that's cool.
And also worth noting, this is where we're getting to this thing that people like to talk about, where Rush is doing reggae.
Yeah,
it's bouncy.
Little reggae.
We're talking about The Enemy Within and Fear, and we're
a little ska maybe.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, but like still in a very Rush way. It's not like they suddenly had a bunch of like horns or any crap. It's like just slipped it in there. I get too far.
No, there should not have been.
There's synth brass. That's as close as you're going to get, and that's more fair on Red Sector A than on this. Whatever.
Yeah.
But Enemy Within is great. It's part one of Fear. Like each fear is about like a different sort of, I guess, type of fear, and this one's clearly about just like paranoia and being afraid of strangers and stuff.
Which gets along with all the kind of topical stuff of this album. Is very of the time, and there's paranoia about the countries nearby and the people nearby, and that everything is scary, including your neighbors, including maybe your own head, and that's what Fear's about.
Yep. Exactly. I also like the chorus is really good. I'm not giving in to security under pressure. I'm not missing out on the promise of adventure. I'm not giving up on implausible dreams. Experience to extremes. But one thing I will say, as I've gotten a bit older, kids, it's okay to give up on some implausible dreams. You can't not give up on all of them, because that's not going to work out great. You got to pick up, maybe hold on to a few, but some implausible dreams, it's okay to let go.
Like home ownership for millennials and Gen Z. And
yeah, like owning a home or retiring ever.
It's
like,
me,
why would you?
It you, it us. Good. I have feelings about the current situation in America. Can you tell?
Yeah. You were thinking about it more during this album than I was, but some of it struck me, and especially when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I got to think more directly about it. But then there are some songs that are a little more obvious.
Well, yes,
with how they reflected. But it's interesting. Yeah, interesting with this because it's kind of more just about like, just being sort of held back by fear, but also apprehensive about, like you said, your surroundings, people, and there's a lot of reasons because these days you don't know who's supporting the fascist regime that's
or who is watching you on a flock camera on a given street corner.
Good point.
That's they're
flock.
watching. Are they watching? Yes, they're watching.
Yes.
So is it paranoia if it's real? No.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No. If you don't know what we're talking about, check out Ben Jordan's video or one of his many videos on flock cameras. Very informative and also
I don't know
terrifying.
Who that is.
Oh, really? Oh,
it just is that the flock cameras are evil as shit.
He's a great YouTuber who does both music but also technology stuff, and he hacked some flock cameras, and he basically goes over how to, but also be careful because they will arrest you if they catch you. Like some kid actually, vandalized a bunch of them and they arrested him. But Ben Jordan also, he's from somewhere in the Midwest. I know he, at one point he lived in Chicago. I thought he was from Minnesota maybe, but either way, he has a Midwestern accent that I find familiar and reassuring. He reminds me of Wisconsin friends and the way he talks. So
Perfect.
it's great.
Good.
And he's very smart.
I'm
really
sorry, I don't have a lot of Wisconsin accent. I could play it up.
No, that's fine. No, you don't. It's
do not.
Sometimes it's best not to. Good for. But yeah. All right. So, Enemy Within.
Yep.
Part 1 of Fear.
Everything bad.
Which they did a part 4, which that was the only one that kind of broke the reverse order thing. But
I don't know which one that is.
It's a very late album. It was either Vapor Trails or Snakes, and I think it was Vapor Trails. But
Vapor Trails is really good, but I have not listened to it in a while, so maybe that's going on my list real shortly.
I think is my least favorite Fear, but it was still pretty good considering. All right, now the Robot song.
Yes, sorry.
Electric.
Transitioning directly into things that are scary about current society and not ever being able to like escape the work, the culture. You can't retire. Well, this is about a robot who tries to run away because he's getting worked to death.
Well, it's funny too because it's like the opposite of the reality we're starting to encounter. Everyone was always worried about what if when the machines are alive, we're mean to them. But it's like they're not alive, probably not going to be alive, and we're still acting like they are. And like, we better get ready because they're definitely gonna. So we got to use all of the money and all the water to make sure they are. But also, they'll probably kill us. Like the same people are saying both of those things. It's like, stop. You should just stop. You should maybe don't do that. If it's going to kill us all, they're like, no, but I'm pretty sure I'll be rich and they'll like me because I helped make it. So the rest
to the robot overlords. Yeah, that's good.
But
also the video is confusing because in the video it's like a sexy guy with the long hair and blah 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 who's getting overworked and he has slave gloves on and he's like getting tracked down by robot ladies and it's insane, but it's the 80s and the videos work.
I haven't seen the video or any of the videos for this in a while. I should have probably watched the videos, but maybe I'll give them a look and do a little companion thing. But
Rush's website is great. Almost all this stuff is linked directly right next to the lyrics and everything.
Nice.
Strongly recommend. Not that Rush probably needs a push of traffic to their website and not that they're going to get any from this, but go there anyway. It's a useful resource.
Yeah, sounds good. A great thing about the Body Electric, again, if you're on the spectrum, otherwise probably it's just like mute this part and come back later or something.
Is this going to be a SOS?
It's very novel in that is the one song that the first song I was familiar with that attempted to use
binary
1-0 like binary in the lyrics, and it works. And then the only other time I think that ever worked was Flight of the Conchords when they were doing it as a joke. And every other time has been stupid because it did it wrong.
It only works with kind of prog rock cadence.
But
it doesn't work otherwise.
That's true. But I also think that when Arion did a binary title thing, I thought it was dumb, and it was.
To be fair, a lot of Arion is kind of dumb because the writing is dumb.
Don't tell the prog. Like I've been saying that, and they're always like, "But I'm like, yeah, it's prog, but I don't care."
Is it though, or is it really just power metal with squeaky synths?
That's a good point. It's like not. You're right. It's rarely. Well, it's like very rarely he can like count to 3 or 5 or some crap just to be like, guys, it's prog, right? It's still prog. Mostly it's prog in the sense that it's pretentious, and he did a lot of concept albums with fantasy stories, and there's a lot of
and with 700 guest stars.
Shit, yeah, and he has prog people on them to just be like, see. So yeah, but you're right. He's sort of like barely skating in, fine margin of like, is this like if you took away the guest stars and you didn't have a story, would it be? So yeah, but that's part of why I don't like it because it bores the crap out of me.
That's very fair.
So yeah, 1001001 SOS. There's some other like really clever lyrics in this one. I really like the part where it's like bytes break into bits. Unit 1's in trouble and it's scared out of its wits. It's so cheesy. Like anybody not on the spectrum is just going to be like, what the fuck? What kind of garbage are you listening to? And this is not party music. I don't know. But
no, it's certainly not party music. When the robot is bowing its head and praying to the mother of all machines.
Yeah.
I want to know what this mother of all machines is. I'm curious what was in Neil's head at the. I want to know what that's about.
It's an interesting like anthropomorphizing of a robot and being like, Again,
picture like the big Sentinel, whatever the hell it was in X-Men, the Master Mold, I think it was. The one that like crapped Sentinels out of its chest in the cartoon.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the thing about clenching plastic fist.
Sure. It's fantastic.
It's like all sci-fi music. It explores the what if they're sentient, but like it's funny how there haven't been many like what if they're not? Like it's just it can be bad. Like Queensryche said, we wonder how machines can steal each other's dreams from points that are unseen. It's real. My favorite part of that lyric is like, it's real. Like, I don't think it is. I think you made that up. I don't think that's real at all. Like,
yeah.
It's real.
Yeah, no,
Thanks, Jeff.
Getting silly.
All right. Which at some point we're going to have to also do a similar like Queensryche retrospective just because I listened to it anyway. And
yeah. We've talked about them a little bit and why things were problematic after the fact.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. The Empire has aged poorly.
Yes.
Oh, and we will be doing a Mindcrime 3 episode, unfortunately.
Good.
We will
Good, I get to listen to that. That's what I want to do.
I accidentally heard 20 seconds of it in the car because I put on the first Queensryche self-titled EP doesn't seem to be on normal streaming services, so I went to YouTube Music to listen to it. And after, I think it was Knight Rider, I just needed a Knight Rider fix. And after Knight Rider, it autoplayed something, and I'm like, well, this sounds like modern production. Definitely some band trying to sound like Queensryche, but kind of not succeeding and being shitty. And then I looked at it, it was like Mindcrime 3, and I'm like, oh, that checks out. At least he tried to make it sound like Queensryche because he hadn't been for a while. So like, but it's I'm sure it's going to be rough. So
yeah, that's no surprise.
All right, so Kid Gloves.
Yeah, I have not paid very much attention to Kid Gloves. This one doesn't really stick in my head very much.
I like it.
Go ahead.
It's about, it's about how kids learn to either pick on each other or they get picked on. It's like Hannah with Kid Gloves. Then you learn the lessons taught in school won't be enough. Then you learn the lesson that it's cool to be so tough.
Would you believe I never processed this as like kids learning? I heard Kid Gloves, which, that's a phrase for gloves, whether you're being careful with something, but I never processed it like as kids learning to figure out society, learning to, hey, it's cool to be tough.
And fighting. Like literally, it's an interesting double kind of a double meaning because it's like there's this sort of the colloquialism is what like handle with Kid Gloves. It's like you're going to be gentle, but in this case, you're thinking more of like children with boxing gloves punching each other because it's about like literally, anger got bare knuckles, anger play the fool, anger wear a crown of thorns, reverse the golden rule.
Sure.
Although my favorite is then you learn the lesson that it's tough to be so cool. It's it's tough to be. It's actually pretty tough to be cool when you're so cool.
That's how King of the Hill works, man. You're up there and somebody's going to try to knock you down. Oh boy.
Yeah, it kind of explores both sides of that, and it's a cool like it's got like a 5/4 kind of groove, but it does it. It's one of those things where like it's a 5. It's like a odd meter, but in a
but it's
very
also really
smooth,
kind of poppy sounding.
Yeah, and
I think that's why I didn't pay as much attention to it because it's less dark than the rest of the album.
True. And it flows
sonically.
Right. And despite the 5/4 thing, it kind of flows where you almost might not notice that it's 5/4. And I think that's cool and impressive for the time.
Oh yeah, that's what good musicians do is they make things that are maybe a little bit awkward intentionally still sound smooth. That's right. The whole jam.
Because they're out of their period, Unlike every prog band that came after them, that's like, we're going to keep doing that forever. And Rush did it as like, we already did that. We did the best version of that. And it went,
It's fine. It's the best.
But they're out of that era. And so now it's like, let's see if we can make a 5/4 sound like a kind of poppy.
Wait a minute. Isn't that specifically in The Body Electric? Isn't that kind of
I'm specifically quoting Natural Science, but there's something similar, I think, in there. But like Natural Science, literally,
it's very similar to that cadence. 1001001. So it's totally.
It's a little different, but it's still it's sort of got a prog thing, but they're putting a different spin on it. That's why Rush is great because they kept evolving.
That's what prog is.
It's going do. Well, yeah. You're right. Being progressive is evolving, and being prog is going do forever. Which is why Rush is one of the best progressive rock bands, if not the best, because they did that for a surprisingly long period of time and with a surprisingly large amount of output. And I could be biased because I discovered it in my teens, but I like it all, almost all. Again, the first one's a little because that's more they're just like sounding like Led Zeppelin album. And there was that. But
we'll get there. That's not this episode.
Yeah,
we might do that like
hopefully
6th or 7th.
Because that one's going to be hard to convince me. We'll do it. I have jokes about it. I've always said
good.
Yeah.
Rush jokes.
Yeah.
That will land with so much of the general audience. Well, our audience, which is admittedly not a lot of people, but still. Anyway, back to I want to make a point about the website. If you look at Red Lenses, they've done this cute little thing where they've broken out the lyrics into some of it's all in red and some of it's gray. And it's like, cool. That's almost completely useless, but it's something that somebody thought to do. And it kind of, they've got it in there and sort of the shifts in sort of the tone of this song. And it's cute.
Nice.
It's a good website. It's like they have people that they pay to do these kind of things.
I'm looking at it now because you mentioned, that's pretty cool actually. Okay, so the last two tracks on this are the most on the nose with the themes you were talking about. Just an early warning also, but like Red Lenses, like so clearly, like, Red Scare. I mean, there's literally the line, like the Soviets are the blues,
talking about like
the Reds.
Think about going to Mars too, which is part of the Red thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think was there a direct reference somewhere in the lyrics about like a news article, or maybe I'm losing myself in the Wikipedia-ing I was doing. Maybe that was between.
In a lot of ways, it sounds like a lyrical exercise where he was just kind of going with a theme, and
it does.
But there is also clearly something. It's called Red Lenses about how people view things and how they view other people. It wasn't always my favorite because it's kind of awkward. It really grows on you.
It's got its own groove. It is not like a thing that's necessarily comfortable or normal. It's a little bit like sort of jazzy, for lack of a better term, just because of it's got the sort of odd flow to it. It's kind of laid back, but it's stilted a little bit.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And also with the Mars and the Horizon thing, it says the National Midnight Star. It's a little bit about conspiracy theory.
Was the one. I think the National Midnight Star was like the maybe not news, maybe tabloid.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
the one with like Bat Boy and stuff. So it's it's sort of real early when all that was just in print, and maybe on the like Coast to Coast Art Bell was probably on the air by that point, but.
When they had to use Photoshop to make bullshit images instead of people shitting out
so there wasn't even Photoshop.
Slop.
You have to like cut out a picture and paste it on another one.
Right. Absolutely. Fuck Photoshop.
Yeah.
What am I, a goddamn millennial? Let's talk Gen X here. Jesus Christ. That's terrible. I apologize.
It's fine.
I have de-aged myself. I need to think like an older person.
Yeah, so that's an odd one, but it's fun and it's grown on me a lot. I probably used to skip occasionally.
Repeat listenings just to kind of see what's all going on there. It's a little bit more complicated song, and it's a little like more lyric heavy than some of the other ones. You have to listen to it more.
Kind of lyric focused, and
it's not as much of a feel, not as much of a 80s groove, but it's a good song. Like they're all good songs. It's kind of sneaky to throw this towards the end.
I agree.
And then you got Between the Wheels.
Yeah.
Where like you're a freaking rabbit getting run over.
This one is like the most like obviously about the US. Like there's a whole thing about, wheels can take you around, wheels can cut you down. Like, but we can go from boom to bust, from dreams to a bowl of dust. Like we can fall from rockets' red glare.
What would that be about? What are you saying?
Extremely, and it basically is telling the U.S. like, you think you're doing well now, but like basically it's telling you what's going to happen in the future, which we're living in. And the you fall from rockets' red glare down to brother, can you spare another war? Another Wasteland, and Another Lost Generation. And the U.S. said, yeah, I think we can spare a few more. Yeah, a few more Lost Generation. No big deal. Whatever.
Absolutely. How many would you like?
So yeah, it's like, I don't know. That's fine.
We got those in spades.
Yeah.
And we're doing it again.
So this one, like, I remember people always said this was like a major, really good song. And I didn't get into it as much back in the day, but it really, really hit different now. And I'm just like, oh, crap. Like,
it's almost hard to talk about this one because it is so on the nose.
Yeah, it's so on the nose.
It's like obvious. Just listen to it. You go, oh shit.
Yeah.
The U.S. sucked then and sucks now, and this described it and predicted it because it wasn't hard to predict.
Yeah, like you know how that rabbit feels going under your speeding wheels, bright images flashing by like windshields towards a fly. Frozen in the fatal climb, but the wheels of time just pass you by.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's like the old joke. Hey, Matt, what's the last thing going through a bug's mind when it hits your windshield?
What?
It's ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I listen to this now, and the thing about like windshields towards the fly, I'm like, yeah, that's what our country's doing right now. It's just like you see all this crap coming. You're like, is anybody gonna do the stuff that they're supposed to do to make this not keep happening? Like,
no, we're not. We don't do that anymore.
You know,
they tried to do that once with a guy, and we taxed the billionaires, and then like we hit the 80s and we hit Reaganism, and we didn't want that. Reaganism is where it's at. We can make the rich people richer, and everybody else can suck it.
And it'll trickle down
what we do forever
onto the poors.
Well, something trickled down.
Yeah,
it wasn't
but it wasn't.
Money.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
It was toxic chemicals
and shit.
Like from the data centers there now, but like they're like, you know, we went from, you know, what can we do to get ourselves on track to not destroy the planet and become uninhabitable? And they're like, you know what we should do instead is build the biggest computer house that poisons everybody nearby and uses up all the water so that, you know, the computer can be alive and kill us. Like, what do you?
Well, you know, it slips between your hands like water, this living in real time. A dizzying lifetime.
It's not supposed to be literal.
By on celluloid, except for now it's on AI digital bullshit.
Yeah,
but
it's not supposed to be literal.
Yes, but it is.
I was like the soaking up the cathode rays lyric, which nobody knows what those are anymore because...
No.
Yeah.
Or the younger generation.
Kids today.
That was... They had CRT, cathode ray tube televisions, monitors. That was how they made the picture. It was neat.
Basically, when you see a video on YouTube that's narrower than a movie and it kind of looks crappy on purpose, 50% of the time, that's what it's trying to look like.
You may have heard nerds say 4:3. That's an aspect ratio.
Those are numbers, and they describe
aspect ratio.
Mathematical shit.
It's fine. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now we're back to sounding old. That's as it should be.
It's gonna happen. All right. It is. It's a great album.
It's such a good album in its entirety. Even with some of the beats that are a little bit different, they still work. Nothing in here is in any way, shape, or form bad to listen to. You should go listen to it right now. You should tell me if I'm wrong or right. You should try not to slit your wrists. It's a whole thing. Just go do it and check out the website because, like with the fancy little red lyrics, they also have the music videos for Distant Early Warning and After Image and a live Red Sector A and The Enemy Within and the Body Electric, which I talked about with the sexy guy with the long hair who is a robot in the song but not the video. You should go check those things out because if nothing else, Distant Early Warning is a good video and the rest,
yeah,
it was the 80s.
Right on. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a maybe underappreciated album to some degree, but it's very good.
Do we feel like this might be underappreciated because it came on the heels of things like Signals and the other?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's right. It's after such major peak albums that, you know, it felt like it was off peak, but it's Rush, so it's still great. And with enough sort of like, I don't have to like get sucked into any of the, the people who only like the early rockin' prog stuff. And then like, as soon as it got synthy and stuff, they're like, Rush sucks in the 80s. Like, not for me. Sucks for you, but in the future, it's all the same to me. It's like, oh, I just experienced a different flavor of Rush as they evolve. And I can listen to
like a prog band, like a progressive band would do.
How dare that progressive band progress?
My God, it's scary.
You gotta stop. You gotta get to a point and you stop progressing and you do the same thing over and over and over for 20 years, like Dream Theater.
I'm not going to do circus music. It's fine. I don't think is Rush.
But they will.
Has Rush ever been guilty of circus music?
That's a good question. I feel like there's probably, I don't know. I need to think about that. But if it turns out they didn't, then I'd say that easily, that solidifies greatest prog band of all time. Somehow
Easily.
You never made circus music.
Yep.
What, like, amazing. There's got to be something somewhere though that probably is like on the fringe, on the borderline of.
It doesn't feel very Rush. I mean,
yeah.
Sounds of water running and skittering woodland creatures, sure. Weird priests in robes, sure. Just trying to think, because I don't think they did anything like that with the later stuff at all. It got a little bit more like straight rock and roll and stuff. The earlier, I think, things had more stuff like that, but it's all weird, trippy, hippie shit more than circus music.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's kind of how I put it all together.
I think I
talking
agree
about
with
the
that.
trees fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to talking about the trees fighting.
But yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
The point is, go listen to more Rush.
Everybody
go listen to more Rush. Do it right now.
You can't go wrong if you listen to Rush, unless you're maybe like extremely neurotypical and.
I think you can still find some good stuff.
No, I'm not saying
everybody likes Subdivisions.
There's a lot of people who are not,
even though Subdivisions
on the spectrum, but
might
still like Rush.
Make fun of you a little bit.
Well, yeah,
kind of.
You might be on the other part of that, or like in Kid Gloves, maybe you're the bully, but it's okay. You can still like Rush.
It's all right. It's a big tent.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know how to wrap this up other than I really want people to go listen to this album. I want this to be an album that people talk about because it is so, again, relevant.
Absolutely.
And I hate just thinking that to myself. I want to be able to talk to people about that. Drives me nuts.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to like figure out, like, we have to line up some more Rush after we do some of the painful stuff that has to happen. We need to do, unfortunately, Mindcrime 3 and also Sons of Liberty.
There's a thing I'm worried that you're going to mention, and I worry. No, that's worse.
What are you afraid I was going to mention?
I'm worried that you're going to want to review the yacht adjacent things, in particular the album that I want to say it's Keith Urban, I think.
Yes.
Did an album.
Right, the Yacht Posers.
Stuff.
Right.
Yes.
Because we need to make the Yacht Posers walk the plank and we need to gatekeep because we need to gatekeep for the yacht rock guys got to keep their hands clean. Well, but we got to take it. Yacht Posers got to walk the plank.
I don't even want that stuff to touch my computers, but I guess I'm going to ruin my own algorithms.
We'll see. We'll figure out how to approach. I don't think we even are going to have to listen to all, like, because they're not even, they probably just did 1-2 songs and then just
I suspect the best way to handle this is to sail the high seas with a certain flag flying. Just saying.
Yep.
Because those are the kind of people that would make you want to make you walk the plank. So it's appropriate.
Yeah. All right. We'll figure out.
Not going to say the word, but you get it.
Figure out how to do it. All right. So we're on the YouTube Your Music is Bad podcast channel now. I think if you type like YMIB podcast, or maybe it's like Your Music is Bad. I don't know. Whatever. You just search it on YouTube. It's there. This is probably where you saw this anyway.
You know, it's an easier way to always find us is if you click subscribe. You should also click like and leave comments. Tell us about how great this album is.
Yeah.
Or if you don't think that, listen to this album and then tell us about how great you think this album is. And if you still don't think it's great, I don't know what to do with you.
You can tell us we're wrong, but in this case, you don't have a leg to stand on.
If you tell us we're wrong, then your music is bad. Not this music, your music.
Almost certainly. All right. Normally I would do another one, but I have work stuff tomorrow and I still have to pack up some gear and shit. So that sucks, but
perfectly reasonable. Did you want any further outro stuff? I was having a hard time putting a button on that.
Yeah, just, click all the buttons that are good. If it's a thumbs up or a subscribe or the bell thing to notify you when episodes are posted. I'm not even really worrying about it these days. Just we're going to keep doing them and try to be more consistent. There's enough stuff to talk about. It's fun to do, and I don't spend a ton of time.
Good enough. I editing. That.
So yeah, we may do that. There's like a list of prog metal covers of prog rock songs that sort of ties into the
I
woke
saw
song
that
episode that I started editing finally. So I have to put that one out so that we can do the arguably related follow up.
I also saw that in that article, once I found it, it had a link to another list of prog rock bands covering not prog songs. And I thought, okay, well now I have 24 things that I have to, I guess, review.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of that, but definitely the prog one, prog, and there's a really, really disrespectful Rush cover in there.
Good, that'll be wonderful.
So that's
we are Rush respecters.
Thematically related.
Have no time for that.
Unlike some people who we will tell you about. All right, I think that's pretty good. To wrap it up, I will say my catchphrase. I am turning it off now.
Later.